All right, hello everybody. Today we have an extremely special day. We are here at the one and only Aquatica studio. It is the most beautiful place on earth, and I'm here with the lovely Loz and Will.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming on here. I'm so excited to hear your opinions, see how you actually manage this place and how you got here in the end. You run like one of my favorite studios, honestly, in Sydney, which is in Brookvale here, Northern Beaches. So it's a little bit different cultural wise to kind of what I'm used to in the city. So really from you guys, I'd love to know how you started in the industry, how you got here, and kind of like what are the tips or tricks you have, what are the issues you came, to find along the way?
I'm not originally from here. So I'm from the UK, and then Will, my husband, I met him pretty much on day 3 when I got to Australia. I was already tattooing when I got to Australia, so I'd done my apprenticeship in England. Struggled to find work because I didn't realize the licensing was so hard.
Do they not have licensing in the UK?
I mean, like, they might do. Don't remember. Like, I never had one for if you were supposed to have one.
Yeah, it speaks volumes of the casualness of that country sometimes.
Yeah, look, I don't know, but I think there is some sort of licensing, but I'm not an expert.
I've tried to look into it for like Europe and stuff like that. I think there is now, but I think that is kind of like a recent thing. Like licensing in Australia was only brought in what, like 2012? So I think.
So, yeah. Because all I could find out, I think it was the week before I came out here. And I was looking into it because I was messaging a few studios thinking, oh, maybe I should set up a studio that I can work in. And saw that you needed a license. I'm like, okay, cool. Went on the website, like the government website, couldn't find any information besides that you needed a studio address, you needed a place of employment. I was like, oh, okay. But then you had to lodge the license in Australia, which I obviously wasn't.
And this was when it was still with Fair Work, hey?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is 2018.
2018. Okay, yeah.
And it was when it became evident of one of Lauren's pitfalls is paperwork is not fun. Yeah, so it's navigating a space like that's not entirely straightforward. Didn't go to plan a couple times.
Yeah,
around.
fair.
Yeah.
But basically, I met Will when I arrived here, and I was struggling to find work. And Will was, at the time, working in hospitality. We had done so many different things before he opened this place. So
You also had to live through COVID as well, like as a tattooer too, which
Will's
was
building
insane
through it
hard.
yeah,
So the first shop, like, I remember one of the starting a business is a stressful enough experience, but then when they take your trades away, like forget the palaver that was the whole experience of trade. But that, I don't know, it might have been 2 weeks where it was like, oh no, you can't have trades anymore. I'm just sitting in a room by myself going,
Oh my gosh, in a construction zone too.
yeah, I like that part was fine.
Yeah.
But it was more just like when you're at the origin point of anything, the knocks feel way bigger, and that one felt pretty giant at the time,
Especially when you're opening a studio and you have all of these different licenses and bills and health inspectors, and I'm sure that gets so hectic.
yeah. And
honestly.
we'd been saving for a year to open up the studio. So we were so close to our target. And then lockdown happened, like, oh my God, we're so close that we can't lend any money off anyone. So we both were working in the Delphi. Will was working in Costco again and doing DoorDash.
Yeah.
In the car. I was doing DoorDash on the most bike because we were like, we can do this, we can get there. And we did it, but it was hard.
And then
I think
it was like every second of the day.
Yeah. My days were pretty hectic back then. It was sort of like 6 a.m. Oh no, the cafe opened at 6, so we'd start like around 5 or something. I'd do 5 to 2. Then I DoorDash from 3 till 10 every day. And there was 2 different cafes that I was working at. And it was like I think it was 15K short of what I budgeted to try and get there. And we were like, oh, we can do that, right? Surely.
Yeah.
And it was like weird, but it wasn't.
You don't realize how expensive things are, like painting walls. Why is that so expensive?
Unless you want to do it yourself.
Which would be,
All of them we did.
this was all like already with me doing most of it. Like, and it was like more money than I'd personally ever looked at. So it's just, it was fun. At the end of the day, you sort of like look back at that stuff and you're like, the moments where you're painting the walls, your face is covered in crap and you're sort of just staring at everything going, oh, what have we done? But then a couple years beyond that, you sort of look back and go, oh, that experience was actually epic. Like there were really cute though, yeah, and there were speed bumps along the way for us, like even just Lauren being able to work in this country that were pivotal to our relationship, you know. So like these knocks, they teach you, and it's good like to reflect on that from time to time, because you kind of forget like it's a fast-paced life, everything's, you know, moving at you.
Yeah.
To sort of look back and go, oh, actually no, we did a cool thing and we made it through, you know, which was at that time it felt pretty stressful and pretty big.
Well, we moved down to Melbourne as well. Did you? For 6 months, because I just wanted to tat it. I was just I am so obsessed with it. I just needed to create. And so we met up here and then on the beaches. And then we went and did farm work because I had to do it for a visa.
What type of farm work?
We were working in a
Sprouts.
packing shed. It was look, it was fine. Yeah. I'm not really a manual labor type person.
No.
It was more the cold. It was freezing. It was like day in, day out picking out the bad Brussels sprouts. But that wasn't the way for it. It was just cold, and I hate cold.
I will preface though, as far as like farm jobs go, we were the cushiest. The scenario could not have been better. Yeah. We were paid the award wage. We were inside as opposed to outside.
No, we were allowed to
listen to podcasts all day. Like it could have been so much worse. You hear so many horror stories of people like not even getting paid for this stuff just so they can get their visa.
Yeah.
But yeah, it became like pretty evident after that though. It's like, oh, Lauren needs to tattoo. Like I built a van for us to live in for that experience, and living that close proximity to Lauren, like it became way too clear, amongst other things, but it became way too clear that she was built to tattoo, wanted to tattoo, and for us to move back to New South Wales just for her to potentially not be able to, just felt again like a potentially selfish decision for me to want to make, just to go home.
Yeah.
So we went straight from Adelaide to Melbourne so that she could work.
Yeah, essentially. That was 2019, wasn't it? So we did 6 months down there.
Yeah.
And I worked in, I really liked the shop I worked in. I worked with some amazing artists. And then after, I think it was like 3 months or so, I was kind of like, I need the beach.
Yeah, Melbourne is without nature a little bit. Yeah. I know when you get out of the city, there's mountains and everything's like there's definitely nature in Victoria,
like you
for sure.
Telling you kind of need to be in the city.
Where we are in the world right now, it's a 5-minute drive to the ocean. Yeah, you know, like and yeah, I've been blessed enough that that's been my existence my whole life. So to be without that, and we were also, I think we moved to Melbourne in the peak of winter. So it's pretty grey.
It's freezing.
We definitely got to experience the four seasons in one day vibe. So it was a pretty decent culture shock for me of like, not necessarily the people, but just the place. I wasn't used to that. So
not thinking like Melbourne is so good. I love that place.
Yeah.
It feels so similar to Manchester. I was
gonna say, does it remind you?
Yeah, it did, and that was part of the reason why we didn't want to stay, because it felt like I've moved from one of the furthest places I could in the world to somewhere that feels so similar to where I'm from. Yeah. Which is cool. It's full of so much colour and like so many different people and art. Yeah. It's amazing.
Whether in Sydney you get a little bit more sunshine. Yeah. So it's nicer weather, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know, yeah. I've done a few guest spots in Melbourne, and I've got to say, I think for me, it's a little bit too similar to Sydney in that sense.
Especially where you're located as well, like that city stamp.
When I tend to do guest spots, I usually like them when they're, like for Perth, for instance, right? It's such a chill spot to go to. You actually go there and you're like, okay, I can take a breath of fresh air.
I've been to Perth.
Oh, it's lovely there. It's lovely. Honestly, you totally should. Yeah, yeah. It's a great scene, and people are just so relaxed, like almost a little bit too relaxed. Some ways, yeah. Took me a few goes to like stop getting annoyed at that, but it was fine. But no, everybody's just very, very outdoorsy, very calm, just willing to take the day as it comes, you know. Whether Sydney, I think, is a little bit more high strung. So so this is your second shop now. So you had one that was like 2 doors down, wasn't it?
2 doors that way.
Okay.
Yeah. We just outgrew the space essentially. Like when we set out to do this, we almost thought the first space was going to be too big. It was pretty slim pickings for us. Like sadly, council to council, again, the things that you have to go through to open up a shop, but it's different everywhere. We had a vision for what we thought the shop could look like, a big warehouse space, a little bit multi-sectional and all that kind of stuff. And
Very nice.
very quickly, the moment we looked into that, it was like, oh no, you can't do that. Yeah. So, and both of us had big feelings about big, like from the get-go. I think like a few businesses have started to open here, and it felt like the beginning of something back when we were doing it.
Also far away enough from the existing studios. Areas as well.
Things have changed in the past 4 years for the Northern Beaches, but for a very long time there was one shop here. So like, no, just the one. Oh, DY. Yeah,
right.
But like, even when we opened, there was only 4, I think, from memory. So it felt nice to be able to carve out our own bit of the world, and like no one else was here. It felt all right, you know.
And you're part of an up-and-coming community as well. You can be there from the get-go and get to meet all these other business owners coming and going, and it must feel great.
And Brookie also presented like a really, I didn't think about it at the time, but it's unusually central for the Northern Beaches.
Yeah, right.
Like you can get from the west in Chatswood pretty easy straight down Murray Road. You'd come from the city on the B line, super simple now, or even the ferry to Manly. Like there's a bunch of different ways for people to get here.
Yeah, it's more connected.
Yes. You know, there's like other
Parking
parts.
was actually all right.
Yeah, and we're also in a part of part of the Northern Beaches where parking isn't a complete nightmare. So you know, like it's easy for clients that are sitting for 8 hours to just not have to worry about their car. And
Yeah, I'm terrified of the roads here. Sorry, it's parking is like the major thing for me that I'm like, thank God I don't have to worry about that, because I'm surprised I don't get into accidents every time I drive here. Honestly, it's so scary.
To be fair though, people just don't indicate.
No,
Like, wherever they go, no one indicates.
oh my gosh,
Doesn't understand.
First time I guested here, I took the Harbour Bridgeway the whole week, right? And every time I got here, I'm like, I'm so stressed. Please don't speak to me right now. Like, I need a minute. I almost died on the way. Like,
Have a 10-minute article down.
yeah. So I found the Chatswood Way. So I'm like, okay, that's at least easier, but I take a wrong turn every time.
Oh no. I used to do that actually on DoorDash.
Yeah.
Whenever I'd get booked to a certain part, you keep going to turn right at some point, and I take the wrong one, end up going in a big circle.
yeah, there are plenty of phone calls going, I don't know where I am. Please figure this out. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Every time I went home after my guest was here, I'd be calling him, being like, "Oh, these bloody cars! Like, I'm never gonna get home." Going back. Oh, it's horrible. No, look. At least guesting here is absolutely amazing. By the way, no point is nothing like that. It's perfect as is. Just driving's terrifying.
Yes.
Yes.
But so you guys take on guest artists, like what is it, every week or every month, or how do you do that?
I mean, the most ideal scenario for that would be we'd have someone new every week. I mean, if there are repeat guests, we're more comfortable with doing more time over someone that's come here and we've obviously enjoyed their company and they want to come back. If they want to spend more time with us, then definitely why not? But the most collaborative version of having that guest share is to have someone new every single week.
Yeah.
If we can. Yeah. Obviously, like finding good people to come guest that like, and you take a bit of a punt sometimes, like internet presents one thing that you don't know what's going to rock up sometimes, but for the most part, it's been like one of the best parts about the shop.
Yeah. And you guys have a specific chair just for guest artists. Does it ever get used by other people, or is it literally just always sitting there for a guest artist?
Guests, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it'll sit empty if no one's guesting.
It's so cool having different artists come in, whether we already know them from previous guest spots or meeting them before, or just brand new ones, because I just think it's nice to meet other artists in the same industry and share knowledge.
I think it's great. Yeah, and you specifically have a spot for them, means that, you know, people can come in and actually feel comfortable knowing that, oh, you want them here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like somebody random that you've just been like, yeah, whatever, you can work here.
And that's not even just about the guests. Like, I know shops all run stuff differently, but everybody here has their own spot.
Yeah.
That doesn't change. Other people don't touch it.
Which I think
It's
is a
their
luxury,
thing.
kind of.
And
Like,
I
not a lot of
think-
people do that.
Like, a lot of how we sort of think about Aquatica and about the business and tattooing in general, like there's a lot of variables to this job that Lauren will often divulge, like the pitfalls of her day or the troubles with the skin or whatever it might be, right? No, like
it's good to discuss.
no,
It's conversations,
like, if-
rant.
but if there's certain things about the day as a tattooer that are solid and you know they're going to be the same,
Yeah.
there's less than for you to stress about. You know, like in
Consistency.
an ideal world, if all you're having to think about is designing the tattoo and doing the tattoo and also looking after the client along the way, that feels a little bit more manageable, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And like a lot of how we try to do things here is surrounding that, you know?
Yeah.
So that, like the guests having their own spot, the guys having their own spot. It's
And Will sets up for the guests as well, so they will provide everything just so that the guests can walk and bring your machines, your needles. They can have specific inks.
Which is like, it's slightly scary.
I know, it's
slightly. No, you just kind of stand there and you're like, can I help?
I know, it's funny for an industry that loves to have an
gosh.
apprentice set up for them.
Oh, it
When
scares me
somebody
every time.
comes here and I set up their bed, they're like, oh, well, can I touch the ground wrap? Like,
No, just go sit down.
Suddenly it's like they're a client and they're like, I don't know what to do about it now. And Will's always
What's
like,
that?
no, just
it's
go
over their
away.
spine. It's all fine. Yeah.
Scares me a lot.
I know. I suppose like people probably necessarily wouldn't expect a business and
No.
all this stuff doing that, but it's sort of. I mean, whether it comes from hospitality, for me, you're welcoming somebody into your home. You know, like there should be some hospitality to there. If I could make It's About Your Day a little bit easier or whatever, I'm definitely going to. You know.
Which is amazing. I think you guys really have your priorities in a great place. Like you're really looking out for artists, you're looking out for yourselves, you're looking out for your clients. And I think that's the main thing. Like the fact that you put so much emphasis on making it easy for tattooers to just do their job is crazy. Like a lot of people don't think about it that way. And it's refreshing almost to hear you say that. I think it's really cool. And I think you're really onto something with that. Because anybody that would come in here and see that would appreciate it and be like, oh, okay. So it's stress is off me for once. Like that's weird. Like
There's nothing worse than like running out with paper towel halfway through a tattoo and be like, oh my God, I need those coals now. Buy some paper towel, rig it all, and then continue tattooing.
Also kind of look a little bit silly in front of your client too, which never feels good either.
oh no, never. But then I almost feel guilty when I'm like, hey, Will, can you do that? Nah. Every time I'm like, hey, Will, how do I change the bed? Like, what do I do about that?
Because those beds are
They're
kind of confusing, aren't they, sometimes?
They're intense.
Yeah.
No, it's just a step removed from the massage bed.
Gorgeous. They're so youthful.
Yeah.
But you're almost like, they're too pretty to touch almost. Like, it's like, I don't want to scratch it or something.
They've definitely got some scratching on them.
Yeah, there's some wear and tear, but they've done well.
They're
I
made
mean,
out of use, though.
It's definitely 3 or 4 years in for most of them. So
They're a true age.
yeah, it's weird to think that it's now been that amount of time.
Can you walk me through the decor of the studio? How did you kind of settle on this sort of vibe, or did it just kind of happen? Because everything feels very thought out and planned.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give Will credit for doing the decor because, like, I always wanted something quite neutral anyway and didn't want too much artwork. I really appreciate studios with lots of artwork all over them, but for this one, we didn't want to go too crazy with it.
It's a work in progress. Like I think.
Yeah, like we're adding things over.
Yeah, the kind of art that we want to present in here. Kind of artwork that I guess we try to gravitate towards. I mean, stuff's not cheap, so like it eventually we'd love to have more stuff here, but I think a lot of the mindset for the decor in here, the layout of things, whatever you might label that, I think now that I'm having to think about the answer to that question, a lot of it has origin for me in the frustration I would feel in the industry that I used to be in.
Yeah.
In that I was lucky enough, and I think they laid the road for being able to do this a little bit efficiently.
Yeah.
Was I was part of a few venues doing massive renovations or building new things or doing that kind of stuff, and you'd always get these and they were really good architects. Like I'm not trying to knock their skill, but you get architects designing bars or designing restaurants, having never worked in one.
Yeah.
And then you go to work in it and go to make it work, and you're like, this is fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know, and like you're bumping into stuff, nothing makes sense, all that kind of stuff. So I think, and it's also like an innocent goal for anybody that wants to start their own business or do their own thing is like to hopefully do better, right?
Yeah, of course.
So there was a lot of that was part of the thought process of this is like, okay, we're going to face these issues on a day to day. How can we like address them at grassroots with the layer, with where things are, with what we're using or the materials and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's like the backbone for a lot of those systems.
I think as well, like, there's some features in here. Say we have a big table in the middle of the room. We've always had a big table in the old studio.
Yeah.
Because I've worked in studios where you come in and you sit at your bed and you just draw.
There's no way to actually.
Yeah, like just that'd be nice to have a table there. Everyone can come in, have a coffee, have a cactus. So we all sit there like an hour before open.
Yeah, in the morning.
You know, finding touches, having a coffee, eating breakfast, and it's just nice. Like it's a
And that's
bonding
also
moment.
a chance to like show other people your designs and be like,
Yeah.
what do you think about this? Or, you know, what should I do? And
That's some collaboration intent, not necessarily a collaborative thing.
Yeah.
because I think that's the one thing that like I think the industry could do better in, you know, that sense of community, that sense of, hey, I actually want to uplift you. I don't want to tear you down. You know, I want to look at your stuff and I want to be like, hey, you could do this better. Or I feel like a lot of people in the industry don't think it's their place, which is completely fine. But then at the end of the day, you show someone something and they don't say anything. And it's like, okay, but like, I want to know your opinion. I want some tips. I want some advice. And you just don't really get that anymore.
Yeah.
I think
Which
that's,
we definitely do that in the mornings.
yeah.
If someone isn't sure about something, I like if you put two options, like, guys, what do you think of this? Shall I do this or that? Or someone else like, oh, maybe you could do this, do that, and I'd make it a bit better. So
It also is. It's been kind of interesting from my end too. I think there's been value in the opinion of a non-tattooer in that discussion as well. I think like naturally with anything you're doing, it's easy to get tunnel vision. It's easy to, you know, like go, oh, this is the way things are done. It needs to happen that way. And me potentially being something that presents something they haven't thought of in that moment has been, I think, been a bit helpful for the guys along the way, you know? So it's been good.
Well, even like in the way that the studio runs, like that's Will that does that. So he does all the management stuff. So the client walks in, first person that you see is Will at the front desk, greet you, consent form, and then he'll take you through. Like,
Which is
a nice friendly face. See, whereas like when you're working and you're tattooing and someone comes in, the last thing that you want is to have to stop what you're doing to then see to a client and then get back in the zone again to be interrupted. So it's nice to have that face at the front of the studio as well.
All right, so we're back after our little intermission. We are here to talk to Loz now. I want to know about your process. I mean, when you got to Australia, you were doing mainly fine line, right? So, and then you've kind of segued into like full realism. How did that happen? How did you do that? How did you learn to do that? Because your work's absolutely insane. Like nobody can do it like you can.
Thank you. You're about that?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so I did 2 years as an apprentice in the UK before I came out here. And the guy that taught me was a traditional tattooer. So I learned a lot of techniques from him that are in trad tattooing. I used to use coils. I used coils for a very long time. I still hold a place in my heart for them because I love them so much.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to transition from the coils to the pens here because I was taught that the coil is the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. But people have their opinions about pens, so.
Look, it's better for my hands to not use the coil.
And your ears.
And I also don't think I can do finer lines with the coils now that I could a few years ago.
But you were doing it though with coils.
Yeah, I mean, even back then I was taught like I had to draw everything by hand. So even the realism stuff, if I was doing a tiger head, I had to draw that on paper. So I would draw that first and then I would tattoo that after drawing hand stencil. And then when I came to Australia, I was just using like a MacBook to edit on Photoshop, still hand drawing, still using the coils. And eventually I bought an iPad, which I was just kind of like, this has changed my life. This is so good. I can do so much on this.
People were really against iPads because they were introduced.
So against it, was like cheating.
Tattooers don't like change. It's
Technology.
No, I think as well, it makes it so easy. It shouldn't be that easy.
Yeah.
But then I was always taught, if you can draw it, you can tattoo it.
Of
Like
course,
if you encode that on paper, then there's no reason why you can't translate that onto skin using the correct
Your generation of apprenticeships as well went through every single step, which
my God.
you don't get taught now at all. Like you skip all of that and then
So
you're like, okay, just tattoo it.
Yeah.
Whether you guys, even the hand-drawn stencils, I think is such a great thing, actually.
And using the thermal stencil machine, we don't have one of those. Oh, well, we do have one, but I don't use that anymore. We just have this really fancy printer that makes stenciling so easy.
The Epson one.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's the best. And I got that from another studio.
The fancy $150 printer.
It's so good.
Isn't the ink like double the price or something like
But it
that?
lasts so long.
Yeah, Blue but
We've not done that up in a year. And there's
we have.
wait.
You just don't ruin it. Yeah.
That's a behind the scenes thing.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, we just never run out of stuff.
You got a little fairy around the shop doing all those things.
His name is Will. Yeah, so when I was doing my apprenticeship, I did a bunch of different styles. I did some traditional tattoos. I really liked fine line though. I was obsessed with Goldie.
Yeah.
Doing the fine line micro realism, I thought it was amazing. I wanted to do that. So that's what I started to push towards.
Yeah.
And so when I came out to Australia, that's what I was kind of specializing in. I was doing the fine line stuff and the micro realism, but I was using the techniques that I was taught by traditional tattoo.
It was also lucky at that time that both those styles kind of fell into favor. So there was opportunity to push.
It did gain a little
Yeah.
and it's still extremely popular.
Yeah.
Right? There's just a lot more people doing it,
Yeah.
which, you know.
And like I love that style. I think as time has gone on, I have grown, and I mean I've been doing this for 9 years now. So like that's a long time for you to kind of evolve as a person and an artist as well.
It's a lifetime to do the exact same thing too. Like if you're wanting to constantly push.
And at a time, I was just like, no, I only want to do fine line work and fine line micro realism. That is it. And
now,
no, I want to do it. I do so many things because I want to keep my skills sharp.
what's a style that you'd like to get into for your 10-year anniversary in tattooing? Do you think you'll change, or?
I mean, just currently, like we've struggled to even describe what she's doing at the moment. It's like, I guess,
I call it illustrative.
yeah. We've led together.
Caterpillar.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
Asian inspired,
Yeah.
little bit bolder design, like a little bit more simple in elements, but just executed really well. And she's been doing that now for be over a year, I reckon. Like those style of things, yeah. But that's also been really well received.
Yeah,
by
I just did this
fitness surgeons.
one tiger. Thank you. Did a tiger one time, and I don't know what it is that this one style at Tiger. It's just really popular. I've done that many variations of it, and
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen it.
But I really love doing dragons, snakes. I never thought I would like doing snakes.
Do you think you're kind of like merging like traditional Japanese and realism in that sense, or is it fine line?
I don't know. I think what it is for a while I was really loving the realism, but as an artist, I didn't feel like I could be super creative with it. Yeah, and I think I want to explore more and push this illustrative stuff.
Yeah.
Because I can be more playful with
They're
it.
stylized as well. You can do whatever you want, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I want to maybe try and incorporate the realism with this new style. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of
Just currently also doing a version of those in full color on Riesa Mercy. So
You never
like
know.
ombre, like
It's a-
ombre and reds, and
It's a pretty classic thing out of Loz. You're like, I think I want to try this. And it's just like, oh, now we need to get all the kit for that thing. Yeah.
That's so fair.
No, I love doing snakes and dragons, which I never thought I would want to do, because I remember someone asking me for a dragon years and years ago. I was like, I don't like tattooed dragons at all. I hate it, but it's just I hadn't worked out how I like to draw.
Once you kind of like master something, then you're like, okay, what's next? Or go into something that like, you know, I wouldn't normally like. And I think for you, definitely realism with scales, or even illustrative with scales and stuff like that, it's that tediousness of making it perfect and just spending time on it. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's also interesting to see where she's at now. You would know the year that we're in Melbourne, but I remember sitting at our dining table in Melbourne trying to figure out with her going like, oh, should the like, how do we set you up for success to actually do scales like consistently?
Yeah. We sat there for 4 hours doing
Just
the scales. And
all these different like guidelines, all that kind of stuff. Eventually it landed on something that she actually thought she could use. But it was now to see her almost weekly just whip a texture out, and there will be no scales. There's no scales.
I see your story.
Doesn't throw the scales. It's all free machine now. And just the journey of that.
Yeah, free machines.
I've never said that.
Yeah, the journey of that is pretty mental, you know? So, yeah, it was like, especially with the snakes, I guess, like there's a real, like, I've gotten to witness the beginning to that now.
That must be really cool as well to even just see the evolution of your partner.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think in an ideal scenario, your partner should be your biggest advocate. And I think, like, as a manager too, you want to be a good facilitator. Like, you want to help people get to where they're going. That's the whole, you know, you might have a common goal for something and you're trying to reach that. So to be able to have helped Lauren where I could along the way in those things have been like obviously a joy. We're still doing it.
Of course. And I think the fact that you come from such a different industry, but that is also so hectic and chaotic and fast paced, I think you come into this with such a logical mindset that I think a lot of tattooers don't really have in that sense, right? Because you're focusing on the creativity of it and like you're getting very emotional and passionate about something. And then to have somebody that's so calm, just, you know, point out little things that you missed is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so helpful.
Yeah, and I think like it's also, I mean, the classic trope of don't work with your partner.
You guys make it work though.
Yeah, but I think like it's been quite a unique scenario for us in that a tattooer might go home to their partner and they'll bitch about stuff, but your partner will just glaze over because they actually don't know any of the things you just went through.
Yes.
And I'll just get time. Like if we're out to dinner and we're talking with our friends, the conversation always gets on to tattooing.
I love it. We can like suck in.
Like it's interesting to note the ones that aren't like me that work directly with their partner. There is a glazing. They sort of go like, I understand the world, but I don't really. Whereas like we get to go home, sometimes for better or for worse, but then get to chat about it. And I actually was there and witnessed the moment that she might have been struggling with something or doing well with something, you know, and then you can move forward with that a bit better, you know.
But you also have that understanding of what it takes and what is expected of Loz to do the job well.
Yeah.
And you can be there when something does go south and you're like, you know what, it's fine, just take a break. Like,
Yeah, I think,
I'll set up your station.
I think as well like that.
Oh my god, when I'm running late, I'm like, can you please? I need a lunch break. I can't. If I don't have my lunch break, I am so hangry.
Yeah.
And just I need that few minutes just to sit down and like rest my eyes and just not talk to anyone. And then I'm like, well, can you just help me?
Yeah. I think that's also like one of the most common things I get asked sitting in this room is like, when are you going to start tattooing?
You almost.
And like, there was a moment when I got first, yeah.
In my really?
But
I want
but I think like acknowledging that there is so much that goes into this job, and to have one of those in the family is fine. You know, like it's sort of for me to step into that and then create double the chaos potentially, even though I might have come at it from a different angle. It just that probably wouldn't have gone as well as this has, you know. So.
I think from my perspective, something that works so well for you two is the fact that you have different but adjacent jobs, right? So you're both working towards this common goal of running the business and all that sort of stuff. But you're here to deal with the artists that work here, help them out when you can and all that sort of stuff. And then you take care of clients, you do the administrative roles, which works out perfectly, I think.
Yeah, my brain does not go well with anything that's not like drawing.
Yeah.
I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any decants.
Don't read contracts.
No. Oh yeah. No, I'll do snake scales all day. That's me.
So you guys have just launched another business, haven't you?
Yeah.
So right here we have Staple, one of the best tattoo glides available at the moment. Can you please tell me what got you into this? I know you've been trialing it for what, 4 years?
4 years.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It was basically like I was using just Vaseline actually as a glide, and at some point they changed the recipe of the one that I was using, and it was too thick. Like it just wasn't working the way that I wanted it to.
It also clogs your needles as well.
Yeah, and I tried a few other products, but it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And so we just tried a few different things. Actually, Will just made it, So he's like experimenting with the ingredients that are in there. And then I've just been using it for 4 years. All the guest artists use it as well every time they come in, and they're like, when
Yeah, it's a pretty.
sell this?
I've asked you guys so many times, like, are you planning on doing anything with
Yeah.
food?
It's a pretty interesting like product launch scenario in that we actually never set out to launch it.
No.
That was never the goal. It was more just we were ordering a product in bulk. Suddenly it wasn't as advertised, and so I was like, okay, well, what else can we get? Oh, everything else is pretty expensive. Like, is that any good? We tried a few, nothing really stuck. So then it became like, okay, well, what's going to cooperate with the skin? What can we put in this jar that will serve the guys? And so I just started ratioing things, working stuff out. Eventually we landed on what's in the jar now. And to also have the scenario where we have new faces coming in, trying that product almost on a weekly basis, and it's giving us good feedback. Yeah.
You guys did that so smart.
Again, it wasn't. Like, it's nothing we set out to do. I think like it was always just gonna be, oh yeah, I just make it for the shop.
Yeah.
You know.
No, best day of my life when you guys launched it. And I was like, oh, thank God, finally I can actually get that.
Well, I think as well, like along the journey of Aquatica, relationships have been made outside of this business with local guys that I came to trust with design work, with other things, and then through those relationships being able to answer questions that bringing a product to market, you're sort of jumping into something going, I don't know where to start. So having some outsiders go, oh no, all you need to do is blah, blah, blah. We can, get stuff rolling that way. It's going to cost X, And so then it just became a question for us of like, all right, well, is it worth us doing? Like, we're lucky enough that we have quite a lot of storage here. So ordering the MOQ of how many empty jars we needed to get a custom jar, it wasn't a problem, luckily. So
So did you work with a local, is it a graphic designer?
Yeah. It's a local duo. The company's called 1 and 1. Wes and Alex have been friends of mine, but from back when I was at cafes, actually. But they revamped our website at one point, but they nail everything design wise. It was a pretty easy thing. Like, I came to them with a concept, went, I've got a recipe, I've got a vibe that I think I'd like the creative direction to go as far as design goes. And they just like a month later or whatever it was, were like, here's this. And I was like, that's perfect. Yeah.
When I look at the packaging of this, I'm like, that couldn't be any more like Aquatica right there. Honestly, or you guys, just that minimalist, but it's so simple, but it's so punchy.
Yeah.
And that's the nice part.
Not dissimilar to the origin of Aquatica. Like the tattoo industry presented us a opportunity to just do something different. But I get tattooed in a traditional shop. The smell of metho everywhere, I enjoy that experience. Like, it's not, there's no better, right? But we just obviously seen something done a certain way a lot, and we're like, okay, well, why don't we try and do that? And it was a similar thing with Staple. Like, you look at most tattooing products, it's pretty one note as far as design goes. There's a few that have popped up now as well that have like started to do stuff different. So yeah, it was a cool thing to be able to go, okay, well, let's see how this gets received. And we've been quite lucky. It's going pretty good.
I think one thing you guys do so well, right, is you get the vibe right. So a lot of places when they go for a minimalist look or stuff like that, they don't get the atmosphere that comes with that. Whether Aquatica as a whole, you've got this minimalist look, but you walk in and it's like taking a breath of fresh air. You can just like finally calm down and just like take it all in. And it's not too much, it's not too little. You have stuff everywhere that you can look at. It's the same with Staple, I feel, is that when you look at the packaging, you're like, okay, I understand what it is. It's giving me everything I want, but it's not overwhelming. It's not making me like anxious, which is crazy. Like, that's so hard to do.
Yeah. And it's also like, for us, a big thing, or at least like when we were potentially thinking, oh, maybe we should do this, is there was a real gap for that particular product in like, you either got your $5 jar of Vaso or is $50 or $60 of X. There were a few that were doing it, and there was a big gap there of like, why is that so large?
Really affordable.
Yeah. So that like, it was really important. Like, if we were to do it, can we achieve it at a low enough price point that it's like, we make a couple bucks, but the tattooer also feels like they can continue to order it, and it can just be part of their setup, a staple for them. That's in the name.
Which is perfect.
Yeah. So like, and when we were able to figure that out, it was also okay, cool. Like we can do this, we can present it well, and it can be affordable for people.
So this week we have an extremely big week actually. So we've got Iron Gate at the end of the week, Friday to Sunday.
Yep.
This is your 3rd year
Yeah.
as Aquatica going to it.
Yeah.
What's it been like? You excited?
Yeah, really excited. Yeah. It's a big weekend because it's very long days, and like you bump ins on Thursday, so you're going from Thursday to Sunday evening.
And then you have to pack up Sunday night after the whole weekend. Yeah, that's going to be hectic.
It is so good. Like I've only done one other convention before this one.
Yeah.
And it was okay. Yeah. But this one, it's so refreshing because the artists are so friendly. Like everyone is so welcome. You can go around and say hello to them. Everyone has time for you to chat, to see what they're up to.
I think I've only ever done walkthroughs of Iron Gate. I've never actually worked it. So this is my first year working it, which is really exciting. But even just going through the walkthroughs of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, the first time I went, I was like, this is going to be the best place to ever tattoo. Like, people are so nice. You've actually got that sense of community and like you're supposed to be there.
And I think credit to him, like Marty launched, I mean, timing is everything, but you can't plan a lot of stuff. And there was a vacuum that was created by some expos dissolving. And the right guy at the right time went, oh, okay, I think we can actually do this better. And to his credit, he has. Yeah. So it's been good for us to rock up to every year. I mean, that Iron Temper and Marty have thrown us a lot of love from the get-go, which was obviously like really nice for us, you know, and supporting a couple of our others here, Lauren being one of them. So yeah, it's if we can rock up for them and, you know, do that every year, we'll 100% be good.
Yeah, it's actually crazy as well though when you look at who is at the expo and who you're in the room with and working beside.
Trying to think about it too much. I saw the lineup yesterday and I kind of like peed myself a little bit.
It was like make time, have a walk through before you start. 100%. Yeah, if you're running so good.
Because it would be amazing to meet more people. I think it's the best opportunity to actually get to know people and see what they're about, look at their process, and just like also the amount of like prints and merch and stuff that will be around. Like it's going to be amazing to see.
Yeah, and I think like us talking to you too, everyone's in your scenario. Like even us doing it 3 years now, like we'll be running in there, throwing in the shit. Like we might have missed something. Like setup's a bit of a nightmare sometimes. Like all that kind of stuff. Everyone's feeling that. Yeah. So like it's you're gonna.
I think we forget about that sometimes though, because people look like they know what they're doing, and then you get down to it, they're like everything's shitting themselves.
Yeah.
And watching the competitions as well. That's always a fun one.
Yep, that's gonna be fun. Eh?
You gonna enter anything?
Still deciding.
Contemplating.
We will see. I think that's a time and a place sort of thing. Get the vibe first, get settled in, and then see if we want to go for it.
Yeah.
Have you?
I did in the first year.
How did it go?
I didn't enter the right thing in the category. I should have. I don't.
Yeah.
So I entered a realism tiger head that was like this big, like what's that, 10 centimeters, and I think I had entered it into the under 30 centimeters category for Blackfoot Grey. So everyone had entered
fine lines, so it was all just a bit.
So everyone had entered 30 centimeter things, and then I just had this little tiger, but which is fine.
It's really good little tiger.
Yeah. I'm sure it was great.
Yeah, it's perfect. But the most terrifying thing about it was this 10 centimeter tiger was blown up on the screen to be like 2 meters big, and I'm sat there shaking and my heart's going, and I'm like, why am I shaking? Am I freezing? Am I terrified? And I was just like, oh my god, I can't, like my tiger is gigantic up there, this is awful. But it looked creepy. It looked great. So
I fully just put myself in that position, and I was like, oh god.
Everybody's doing the same thing, like everyone's work.
So you're gonna enter this weekend then?
I don't think so, because I'm working on really big pieces.
Okay.
So I'm working
yourself out.
Well, I'm doing a full day finishing a back piece on day 1.
Amazing.
And then I think I can finish it on that day actually. And then Saturday I'm doing a half day on another back piece. So they want the at the stage to enter into the right categories on the right piece. Yeah. But then after that I'm going to do walk-ups. I just don't know what yet, because I need to put my flashies together. Today.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay, so all of the artists here are going, or is it
Just 4 of us, just 4. There's a little bit of a smaller showing. I got a couple of people on holidays, and then So just sort of, so, and like, to be honest, it only gets a little bit easier if there's less. Like, we had 6 last year and that was intense.
But are you sticking to the same setup that you always do? Yeah.
Similar.
That setup is perfect. Honestly, it's like the holy grail. You walk down the aisle and you're like this bright, shining thing.
The first year was kind of crazy when they had the black backdrops for everyone. And I didn't know what color the backdrops were going to be. I was like, oh, I just want to have a white backdrop.
Just wanted to look like a mini version.
We set it up, and then because of the lighting in there, it was like we were glowing.
You looked like you were glowing.
Unintentional giant neon sign.
No, do it again. Do it again. It was awesome. It was perfect. It drew everybody in like moths. Yeah. Honestly, you're like, what is this bright thing going on? And it got you like.
Do you know what you're going to do with your booth?
We're in the middle of working it out at the moment.
It's only 2 days to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Not stressed at all.
2 days? 3 days?
It starts on bump in's Thursday, so yeah.
We'll give you 3.
It's tough.
It's fine.
No, I think we're gonna go for more of like a darker look, definitely.
Yeah, cool.
Black, obviously, tablecloths, that sort of stuff. A little bit of decor. We're focusing a lot on prints and flash. So me and Mia will be doing a lot of walk-ups and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
Yeah, main focus on getting into the print industry basically and showing people what we can do.
Yeah.
What's your booth? What number are you?
I think we're B16.
Okay, so
Next
you're
door,
next down.
Yeah, we're right next to like the cafe and stage aisle. Yeah, I actually quite like it, to be honest. So we'll be right there when the competitions are going. And oh, exciting. So, one piece of advice, what would it be that you would give to an upcoming artist or a brand new apprentice?
I would just say, don't stop drawing. Draw more than you have ever drawn before. Yeah. Because if you can draw it, you will be able to tattoo it.
And you're taking that from your apprenticeship as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I've taught my old apprentices as well. And I think as well, like, staying in touch with people.
Yeah.
Like, it's very when you meet people and you meet artists, you never know when you're going to cross paths with them again. So I think it's important to stay in touch to some extent, whether it's like supporting their Instagram or
networking is a huge thing within the industry, and a lot of people drop off with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think networking is a really important thing to establish first off the bat, honestly. And if you can kind of like help people to achieve that, then that's a perfect thing. You're setting them up for success. And
definitely, I think as well, guest spots are really fun. I haven't got zero to do a bunch of guest spots yet. I've done a few. But I think doing guest spots is a great way to meet people and watching other artists' work is how you pick some stuff up.
I think that's been the biggest thing for me so far has been actually getting out there and meeting people. Like I've met so many people and actually learnt so much from just like being around varying artists.
Yes.
Everybody works differently, so it's cool to see.
Exactly, because there's so many different ways to get to the same end point is through tattooing, whether it's using different needle configurations or different shading techniques, whatever it is. But the only way you can learn that is by watching someone, whether it's in person or videos.
Yeah.
Like I watch so many videos on Instagram and just how people are doing it. Yeah. And I remember getting tattooed by someone and seeing him shade in a certain way. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do that. And then just...
Especially for apprentices, getting tattooed is also a very, very important thing because then you do pick up things just by watching it so up close, Yeah. And what about for you, Will? Any pieces of advice for up-and-coming artists or apprentices?
Yeah, I think being Lauren's partner throughout this whole process, I think I've got a first-hand experience, and we touched on it earlier, of how hard this job can be. I think it can be quite an over-romanticized job and it's cool. Tattooing is cool. I obviously love it. I'm covered in tats. But I think at the moment there seems to be like, oh, it's a sick thing. I really want to go do it, blah, blah, blah. And there hasn't been too much thought into what it might take.
Yeah.
And it can lead to people rushing stuff or whatever, So I think it's like, if you want to go for tattooing, go for it. You're probably going to do well, But I think just be prepared for it's not a easy job.
Prepared to be consumed.
Yeah, and it's gonna take over your life pretty quickly.
To any tattoo artist and stuff. So what do you do in your spare time? Draw?
Yeah. Or think about tattooing, talk about tattooing.
Learn about tattoos.
So if you're not prepared for your whole life to somehow circle back on a daily basis to tattoos, it might not be the monument
for it.
Yeah.
I have to. And otherwise it's not worth it. Honestly, if you're only half in it or you're only in it for the money, you're not going to get enjoyment out of it.
No.
So yeah, having passion, drawing all the time is the most important thing. I do agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're done for today, guys. Thank you so much for coming in, or thank you for having me. Yeah, no, thank you for allowing me into your studio today. That was really cool. I really enjoyed hearing everything that you guys had to say.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.